Morning to you, Friday here on the Daybreak Show. Morning, Spencer.
Good morning.
Fridays at this time, of course, we have Dr. Alex Apostle in from the Shelton School District. Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Good
Jeff.
to see you
Morning.
in here.
Good to see you.
Good
Tell
to
you,
see
last
you.
Friday was a mess. You called me. You were stuck out there by Pickering on the way out to Harstein Island, and just tough commutes in.
Yeah, it was Murphy's Law in a number of ways last Friday, but I'm glad to be here today.
Saw that, after that Friday, you made some announcements on Facebook about the decisions for the school delays and how those happen and the change that came in relatively quickly. What's the cutoff that you were saying there? Is it 5:30 in the morning?
5:30 in the morning, and we do that because we want to make sure that we give families an opportunity to make adjustments. And it's difficult for families, to make those adjustments when we delay school or cancel school. So I usually get up between 3:15 and 3:45 and check all sources in terms of what's going on, but it didn't quite work the way I expected it to work, and feel bad about it. But the snow hit us hard at about 6 o'clock and kept going, and I didn't feel too good about that decision.
Sure. And it's a tough one to make. And but again, as we talked a little bit too, parents, if they're feeling uncomfortable, you guys understand that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately, like I've mentioned in various venues, if parents feel that it's unsafe, we'll work with parents. I mean, we're not going to penalize students for not coming to school or missing work if the weather is inclement the way it is. So, yeah, we work with parents all the time, and we'll continue to do so.
We haven't had a chance to talk about all the things that have also been happening in the school district. I know you've been out in front of this decision last week about the assembly and things like that with the anthem and whatnot. What I'm interested in learning is, are you guys able to take these opportunities and use them as conversation pieces in the classroom? I felt that regardless of where you fell on the issue, this is a perfect opportunity to have discussions that normally probably wouldn't come up on a daily basis.
Yeah, this is definitely an adult issue. I've assumed total responsibility for what happened, and it's a teaching and learning moment for all of us. I've been meeting with students, parents. I met with the Squaxin Tribal Council. We had a great meeting together, and we all understand that this is a teachable moment and that we move forward. And I truly believe, even though I regret that this happened tremendously, this is an opportunity for all of us to come together and to educate our students about protocol as it relates to the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem and our great country. So I really truly believe, and I feel it at this moment, that based on my discussions with people, that we're going to be stronger because of what happened. And hindsight's 20/20.
Sure.
I shouldn't have made the decision that I made, and I regret it tremendously, but we have to move forward. And the one thing that I realize is how great our community is. I've last Saturday and Sunday, I took time to call parents that called me on Friday, and I was so busy I couldn't get back to them, but I used the weekend to call them back. And these were parents that were concerned about what happened, but in the final analysis in our conversations, they were wonderful, good people. And I'm very proud to be the superintendent of a great place like Shelton. Even though people were upset, they were understanding and forgiving, quite frankly. And they said, hey, we just move forward from here.
Well, one thing I noticed and note is your upfrontness on taking responsibility for this. We hear oftentimes news stories that happen, and people will push it off. They'll say, well, we're going to have a group look at it. We're going to deal with this, and we're going to, but never perhaps take responsibility to then make a break to then start moving forward with that, and that does help a lot. And once you're open and honest with folks like that, it really helps.
Well, that's the only way I know how to operate, is to be upfront and honest with people. And I have a responsibility for what happened, but I have just as great a responsibility to move us forward together.
Sure.
And that's what we're going to do, and I believe we're going to be stronger for it. And we can move on and continue all the great things that are happening in our school district.
Yeah.
We were looking at an article on North Mason, where one of our kids go to high school, and the whole debate about later start times. I have real mixed feelings about that. I'm kind of a curmudgeon when it comes to that, because they're saying studies show teenagers need more sleep, right? But they're on their phones all night. They're texting, tweeting, Snapchatting. This idea that if we start school half an hour later, that somehow the kids are going to go to bed at the same time, I think is kind of naive, or made up by people that don't have kids. Because, if the teacher says the book report's now due on Monday, not Friday, you have the whole weekend to work on it. They're not going to work on it the whole weekend. They're going to wait till Sunday around 10 o'clock at night, panic, start reading the book, do the book report, turn it in Monday sloppy. I just don't buy the whole notion that if we start school half an hour later, it's going to solve all these sleepy kid problems, because the kids are just going to go to bed half an hour later.
Well, the research that I've read over the years really is non-conclusive, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But, in real life, you got to get up and hit the deck.
Yeah,
and that's part of our educational processes. We need to teach kids what's coming in their life, and the fact that they've got to get up and face the world every morning. That's an important skill and characteristic to understand and appreciate, because in the world of work, as we all know, regardless of how we feel, we go to work every day.
They're not going to start
an
hour later.
Starting later, I don't know what kind of a message that's sending. And again, based on the research that I've reviewed, it's mixed. So the key is to let students know that they have a responsibility, regardless of whether they're tired or not, to be in school ready to go, because that's life.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Excellent.
Life lessons that you learn coming out of school.
That's right.
What else is going on with the school district?
Well, we're really moving forward on our athletic complex issue. We're meeting with architects. We had some of our staff go out on a field trip to take a look at various fields and artificial turf. And I know that they were very impressed with the artificial turf at Spark Stadium in Puyallup. And we're very impressed with it, and it could be what we might be using here. But there's a lot of excitement about the renovation of our athletic complex, and the architects and engineers and our consultant are moving that agenda forward very, very quickly.
What would this look like? A total rebuild of the sports area, including the stadium where the spectators sit, or would that would that remain there and things would build up around it?
Yeah, we're talking about the track, which is going to be beautiful. The artificial turf on the football field, artificial turf on the baseball and softball fields. The stadium itself, there's going to be very little work on that. That's down the road, and maybe a different time.
Sure.
But right now we're focusing on the lighting on the football field, the baseball fields, softball fields, and those kinds of things. And that's going to be a huge improvement in our school district. And we're very fortunate, of course, and I keep saying this, that our community supported the bond, and based on that we got $19.5 million state match. I mean, it couldn't be any better than that.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, I did look like there's a fresh coat of high climber red there on the stadium as we get ready.
Yeah, we may do some of that during the summer and get it ready for the fall. It's going to be an exciting fall with the reconfiguration and transition of our schools, along with everything that's going on. It's going to be exciting.
Dr. Alex Apostle, good to see you, buddy. Good to have you get in safe today.
Thank
after
you, Jeff.
Crazy
Spencer,
week last
thank
week.
you.
Thank you.